friends, welcome to another episode of Killingly Public Library's craft videos. Today we're going to be making I guess I'll call him a succulent head gnome. So we're going to make a gnome, and instead of a hat, he's going to be like a plant. So we're going to start today with a K-cup, and I'm going to trace it onto just a piece of cardstock, and you're going to eventually be gluing the cardstock to the lip, the top, the opening of your K-cup. So you want the cardstock to be just that size, or maybe a smidge wider, but not too you know, the circumference has to at least extend that far. Otherwise it's just going to kind of sink inside, and that's not going to work. So let's trace our K-cup. And cut out our circle. There. I'm not going to glue it on yet, but you can see that it does fit. Okay, covers the whole circle. Next thing we're going to do is take some crepe paper, and the crepe paper kind of runs, you can see like striations, kind of, I don't know, just the weave of the paper, it kind of runs this way. So that's the way we're cutting the paper, and I'm going to cut it about a ½ inch wide. It's not rocket science. You can make it as wide or as narrow as you like. And you're going to then cut about 3 inches or so off. And I didn't measure it. I suppose I could have, but I didn't. So after you cut your strip of crepe paper, we're going to take and find close to the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect. And we're just going to kind of pinch it together, kind of like a bow tie is pinched in the middle. And we're going to give it a twist. So hold it with your other hand somewhere and twist and turn it just a slight bit, so it's pinched in the middle. I don't know if you can see that. It's not a big deal, however you want to do it. And then just fold it over and kind of run your finger in there to just kind of give it a little well, sort of, okay? And you can do 2 different things. You can now use it this way and trim the loose ends, just kind of round the corners a bit to make it more look leaf-like, or you could leave it like this, because that does look pretty leaf-like just as it is. I am going to do the end where I have to do all the trimming. If you don't want to do the trimming, then use the other end. But I'm just going to do this, and I'm just taking my scissors and just kind of rounding it a little bit so it kind of looks leaf-like. So you could probably see they kind of split open. But I think I'm going to try this look, because the leaves will kind of open up a little bit, and I think it might look more fuller. But you could certainly do this end as well. It does have a neat look about it. So either way, it's your choice. Do you have 25 to 30 of these leafy petal things made? You're going to take your white circle, and you're just going to take a little Spanish moss and glue it around the edge, so that you can then attach your leaves, and it'll be all full and in. So let's just glue a little Spanish moss around the edge here. All right, I've glued some Spanish moss around the edge. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just to help hide the white a little bit. So fiddle and play with it however you like. And then you're going to take your 25 to 30 petals, and you're going to just glue them down along the edge around, and then continue in and just keep filling in and filling in till you get to the middle. So there, I've filled in one, and I have already done the other. So I just kind of, as you can see, filled in and just kept going around and filling in till I got to the middle. And when I got to the middle, I just took a piece and rolled it and rolled it and rolled it, and that's what I did. But you could certainly fill it in with some more of these. I just had run out and I didn't feel like making any more, and I thought, oh, that's good enough. So if you don't like that look, just keep making more little petals and fill in your succulent. Now we are ready to assemble. So you will also need a piece of fur. And I just found a scrap piece I already had left over from other crafts when I've used it, and I didn't cut it down or anything. This is exactly what was left. You can see it's kind of cut in the it's kind of a little funny back here. So it was just a scrap piece of fur. It's not even any particular shape. It's just kind of weird. But if you don't have scraps and you need to cut some fur, do take care to cut the back only. You don't want to kind of take your scissors and just go right through the fur. It kind of takes away from the fluffy, just the beard of your fur. It's gonna just make it fall apart. And yeah, you just want to kind of take your scissors and lift it under and just kind of cut only the fabric. Or something else I've used as well is a razor knife, and just kind of very carefully made my little marks just to get through the fibery parts here and not touch the fur. So anyway, take your K-cup and glue your fur to the top, as close to the edge as you can, okay? And make sure that your fur is running up and down in the proper direction to look like a beard instead of the hair growing up. And if you don't have any fur, you could make some a beard out of yarn, and then brush it out when you are done. Glue the yarn onto your K-cup and then brush it. How's that? And I had this scrap, so I'm just putting the whole piece on my K-cup, but you don't have to. The back of the K-cup could be left exposed. It does not have to have fur all over it, but I just figured I'd leave it on because I had it to play with. So there is my fur glued on, and since I was just using a random piece, I'm going to make this the back because it's, it doesn't line up well. It's kind of weird looking back here, but who's going to see it? Because it's going to be displayed somewhere where it's not showing. And we're just going to take and glue our succulent onto the top of the K-cup. Give him his little hat. And you could make your petals longer. I just made them kind of short. But if you wanted longer petals to give him a taller hat, but it's just a K-cup, so I didn't think it needed to be extremely tall. And you can fluff and play with your petals, if you want to push them out or something. But so that's his hat, and I've got a nose here somewhere for him. Here we go. We're just going to take his nose and figure out where I want it to be, and just stick his nose on there. And dab a little glue and give him a nose. And there, he's our little succulent head gnome. Kind of interesting, I suppose. Yeah, getting a little too crazy with the gnomes, maybe. Okay, well, that concludes our craft for today. Just a few scraps of things I had laying around the office. Let's see what you can create with the things you can find. You could use yarn for the beard instead of fur if you didn't have it. Maybe you want to even actually plant a real plant in your K-cup and see what can happen. A bead for the nose. I mean, all kinds of things. Get creative, play around, and send your finished photos of your product to info@killinglypl. I would love to take a look at them. Thank you so much for stopping in and joining me today. And until next time, have a great day.